Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm Ryan. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. Welcome back, guys. How's it going?
It do be.
It's been a quiet week. Not much,
Yeah, nothing to talk about. Beach volleyball starting this week.
Number 12, number 1.
Look, I get we were trying to make a joke here, but beach volleyball is where it's at. All right, let's not drag them into this.
We are a beach volleyball school.
I know.
We should.
I
told some rando that the other day. They were like, so if like you said your school was like really good at one sport, what would it be? And I was like,
beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball. And they were like, oh, tell me more about that. And I was like, there's not really a lot to say. We're good at it.
Like, I don't know anything about beach volleyball. You've heard all the information that I have.
Yeah, we play it and we win more often than we don't.
Outside of touchdown flags, we should start a separate NIL just for beach volleyball to give them all the money in the world, so we're the number 1 team and not the number 12.
Ooh.
I don't know how much money do you need for beach volleyball?
I don't know.
All the money
how much does it cost to be number?
You heard them.
Look, how much does it cost to be number 1?
I tell you exactly how much. More than I have.
All right.
In beach volleyball, it might be like $350.
$350? Yeah, no. So it starts this week. We'll have something to look forward to each week now. Tampa Invitational. I actually wrote stuff down about it. So
nah, we're still gonna look forward to other sports that we might not be as good in.
You know who beach volleyball is playing this weekend in the Tampa Invitational?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Look, that was a guess too. I just knew based on how you asked.
I just said Stetson because there's a chance of it.
Are we playing in Columbia?
No, it's in Tampa. That's why I call it the Tampa Invitational.
Well, I didn't hear that part. I wasn't listening to that part.
Of course not.
I stopped listening to you after I know the answer.
Yeah, so what's going on with South Carolina other than beach volleyball?
I heard they got a new tight ends coach.
Well, definitely not much necessary. How much are they paying that tight ends coach?
About what we pay our head coach.
Pretty penny.
Paid.
Jasmine.
Paid. Past tense. I don't even know how to start this. So, Coach Elliott, former Coach Elliott, just Shawn. He's just Shawn now. He's not even coach. He's just Shawn.
Just Shawn.
Yeah.
Just Shawn. So found out, was it on Friday when it announced? I actually had to find it out from the stupid Lafayette fans. I got a message from our buddy Jerry.
Really?
He sent me the news that Shawn was dipping out, headed back home to Columbia. I guess actually not really headed back home. I'm sure he's already there.
He didn't have to move. That was the thing. Yeah, he was ceasing his commute to Atlanta.
So what was like initial reactions that you guys had?
Wow. This is weird. Why is this happening right this second? We're in spring practice. Oh my God, how's the team going to react?
A spring practice that
good riddance
early.
Well, you know what? Yeah, the spring practice being super early, we're one of the only teams doing it super early for Coach Elliott, so he can go on vacation. I think that's what it sounds like. So good.
Maximize that lake time in early spring,
He always goes to the Keys too.
Oh, does
he?
Yeah.
I have been sold on the argument that that's not the end of the world. The reason that I'm frustrated by that fact is that it was scheduled early for him, which again is fine. I'm all for a work-life balance. You guys know I've defended that man for a long time about living up there and commuting here and whatnot. But I like moving it up and then canceling it because he's quitting. Like, what are you doing, dude? We were being ultimately flexible for you. Like, it's rather silly how flexible we were being for you, and then you just like roll out in the middle of it. What is that?
We would have a spring practice without you because we love you that much.
Well, the thing is, my first reaction was like, same thing as you, Tim. Like, wow, like what the hell is going on here? And then then I was pissed off at him. Still am. Then I was trying to I get it. I get where he's coming from. The part about family, prioritizing family above everything else, which, as a father, absolutely. But then also as a father, you are supposed to teach your kids a bunch of values. loyalty, responsibility, respect, stuff like that, which made me just even more pissed off at him. But then I kind of sort of, as the days have gone by, we wanted to do like a rapid reaction, like post that night. But I think it's kind of good that we had a few days to sit and mull it and read some stuff and talk to each other about it and talk to the Patreon group and read what's on social media and stuff. And I think what I came out is I'm pissed off at Charlie Cobb more than I am anything else at all, because he allowed this to happen.
There's no way he didn't know.
Right.
Well, of course he did. Because look at what's been going on. Shawn's family never moved down here. Everybody knows that. That's not new information. We all knew his family never moved down here.
I've defended that on this podcast many a time.
That is what it is. But, then he doesn't allow. I'm sorry. His coaches were leaving by 3 or 4 o'clock by his direction. Even during game weeks, he was not doing any in-house meeting of any kind of recruits, never going to any schools. He let the staff handle, which I'm all about delegating responsibility. But you're supposed to be that closer, that guy that goes in there and seals the deal.
Right.
He wasn't doing that. He was finding more and more ways to spend as much time in Columbia as he wants. Again, as a family guy, I get it. You want to spend time with your family. This is not the job. This is the job everyone talks about, where you sacrifice that family time to achieve your career.
Can I add a little just to the recruiting part? They literally limit the amount of contact that a head coach can have, because they should be wanting to have much more contact than is allowed. That's all.
Right.
Go ahead.
So we're on
hell, I remember.
I didn't mean to jump on your thing, but you were doing well, and I wanted to add a little asterisk.
Well, I remember Mark Richt doing the stupid Ford or Dodge or Chevy commercials, whatever, and talking about how when he's on the road, he needed to have access to his phone with his CarPlay crap. So if a kid had called him while doing that little small window, he was able to respond and everything. I don't know if any of these guys even had Coach Elliott's phone number. And now, before I go on, it looks like the players, so many players, including Dan, who went on to be a coach and employee of his, nothing but good stuff to say about him. I saw no players that played for him say anything negative about this decision. But with Cobb, Shawn was finding every way he could to spend less and less time in Atlanta and more time at home. He was pulling in $800,000 plus, a huge salary. And what is the new term they have for the Zillennials or the Generation Z, whatever, is that quiet quitting type thing? I think Shawn Elliott quiet quit Georgia State and Atlanta. He was doing the absolute bare minimum to draw that huge paycheck until he could find a job back in Columbia again. He made some kind of comment in his statement or an interview or something about how he knew that he knows it's a hard decision for him professionally, but it was the right decision for him personally. He knows he screwed himself. Like what program outside of Columbia is going to take Coach Elliott now? He's definitely not going to be a head coach. If he's a head coach again, it's going to be after a long time of starting back at the bottom and building his way back up. Maybe AC Flora will hire him as a special assistant or some crap like that. But this is Cobb's fault. This is all Cobb's fault for allowing it to happen, permitting it to happen. You signed that extension in 22 or whatever it was.
And whatever the quiet extension was that we still don't really know the details about, right?
Is that real? There's a secret extension that happened?
There were rumors that there was something that was signed last year, but as of this point, I don't think anything's been made public. So if we get past July 1st and we still don't know about it, then I guess it never happened, because that should be all public information.
I think as far as the contract goes, the only thing we know right now was one thing that's been reported is that South Carolina is throwing $150K our way as part of the buyout. So I don't know what else is part of that buyout. But South Carolina is paying $150K for the privilege of hiring him.
So apparently the buyout for Coach Elliott was different than if we were to get rid of him. So it was we were always talking about it's $1.5 million for us to get rid of him.
Right.
Apparently it was only $300,000 if he left voluntarily, because you don't want to put.
And honestly, the financial ability of a major public university versus this dude is going to be different. I mean, even though he gets paid a lot already, but it's going to be, that makes sense.
Could you imagine the shit if the contract that no one knows about last year has some kind of weird buyout clause stipulation and he's gone the next year? That'd be
Yeah, they reduced like it went down from
the fan base would just go livid because then it's all Cobb at that point.
Yeah. Well,
there's
so
no way
apparently it was like
that thing stays private. If it exists, it's going to get public at some point. So
right.
$300. I'm here. $300,000. I'm hearing it was $300,000 was the buyout. And there was that one article that we saw that we posted in the group chat, Ryan. That's where you said it sounds like somebody else is paying something else. I saw another article that said South Carolina will aid his buyout at $150,000. I don't know if the other 150 is coming from boosters, if it's coming from Coach Elliott himself. I don't know what it is, but man, it really puts Georgia State in a weird position. Spring practice has started. People that have been moving around are around. Now you're starting from scratch all over again. How confident are you that we'll find somebody of quality that can come in at this point? Because how much are you going to trust somebody that ups and leaves their program once the season started, that season, but the offseason started?
If you gave early reactions, like even if Elliott was still here next year, I don't know. Our recruiting wasn't spectacular. I know stars don't matter, but next year was looking kind of scary again, like this year did. And it turned out, well, I guess you could say okay. So I wasn't super positive going into next year. And then when you remove Coach Elliott, it's like, oh, next year's going to be weird. I mean, the kids getting the 30-day window to transfer out, right? And then the portal's opening back up in April. Cross your fingers. Hopefully you get a coach in before any of that can take place. I'm assuming we'll have one in like the next 2 weeks, right?
I mean, according to Ben, it's going to be in the next week. So
good.
Interviews going on. I'm hearing that they're looking all over the place, but there's a group that is really pushing for a successful FCS head coach to come in, somebody with head coaching experience versus having a coordinator from somewhere else come in.
I think an FCS head coach would be rad. I'm not opposed to that. I think that's the less big splash, but like having head coach experience at the bottom level, and having to like be a little bit scrappy and stuff like that makes sense to me. I'm cool with that rather than somebody who's had it a little easier, right? So like I'm a big fan of Brian McClendon, who that's the top name going around. But people are like, oh, his wide receivers are pretty good. I'm like, yeah, well, when you recruit nothing but 5-star wide receivers, they're going to be pretty good. Like, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's not a lot.
6-figure salaries, right?
And you got a 5-star. You got a 5-star quarterback throwing to him as well.
Right. It's like, okay, all right. Yeah. His wide receivers were pretty good, but guess what? They were pretty good before they got here. So, who knows?
But then McClendon has an offer or has accepted a job at with the Bucks, which is $1 million plus a year right now. We were paying Coach Elliott at 800 something thousand. He made 800 something thousand last year.
It was like 810, 811, something like that. But yeah,
there's no way that Charlie Cobb's going to come off that. I mean, there's no way he's paying a new coach the same thing that Elliott was getting paid. I think
he's got to come up. He's got to come up a little bit. I mean, there's no.
Well, he should come up, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to go bottom barrel, and he's going to try to get a discount on a coach. He's not going to want to pay. He's not going to want to have the highest paid coach in the G5 at all.
Well, I don't care if you want the highest paid, but like that's how turnover works. Like the market has changed since you hired Coach Elliott, and inflation has happened, and like the economy is different. Like you got to come up. It's like changing jobs, right? The only way to get like a 10% or more raise is to change jobs. I mean, it's the same type of thing.
I mean, I can see the strategy we're taking, right? It's do more with less, right? Find a head coach from FCS, pay him less, incentivize him with bonuses and base pay increases year over year based on results on the field. We're probably in a tough spot, honestly. Like, just fan support, obviously it's limited, right? And Cobb's probably, I'm with David, Cobb's probably going to not want to pay the top of the Sun Belt. He's going to want to be in the middle of the pack or mid to low and incentivize whoever comes in to exceed and excel, and then pay him out.
Yeah, but Cobb's also that kind of guy that if he does hire a successful coach that comes in here and gets a lot of attention as a character, he's going to want the guy out of here because he doesn't want the attention on somebody else, a la Coach Hunter. But
Cobb doesn't get very much attention. What most of us like can't tell the difference between Elliott and Cobb anyway. So,
Cobb's a little bit taller, I think.
Just a little bit.
Has a bigger waist.
Yeah.
Cobb's a little taller.
Bigger waist size. Bigger waist size. Yeah.
Both of them great guys. I'll tell you what. I like Elliott. I don't like what he did. So I like Cobb. I don't necessarily like the way that the program is being run.
Well, let's talk about what he did as far as, not about the leaving part, but as far as him as a coach at Georgia State. So we've only had 3, and I think that it's really easy to say that Coach Elliott has been the best coach we've had.
Easily.
But the best coach we have has a losing record.
Yeah, the bar's not incredibly high. We have multiple 0-win seasons. So, or no, we have 1 0-win season, multiple 1-win seasons.
Well, we didn't have any 0-win seasons under Elliott.
Not under him, but I'm saying the bar's not exactly set super high as far as being the best coach in our history.
Yeah, I think he combined for the same number of wins in his 7 years that Trent and Curry had together, or something like that. Or they're super close. And then,
so
but then
you could say our best days are ahead of us, then, right? I mean,
man, if
they're not, holy, look, we've already been through those days. We can't go back to those days. Like, I don't want to see us regress. Like trying to think of basketball, right? I mean, I know we'll get to it in a minute, but we had a great coach. Then we had a really bad coach that took us backwards. Then we had Hunter pulled us sky high. And then Lanier kept us mostly sky high. And then right now, Hayes, I don't know. So, I mean, think about football. I don't want to go back down. Do you? Jeez. I can't take that abuse again.
We could always be ULM. So, there's definitely down.
I thought about that. Yeah.
You mean the team that's beaten us the past 2 times we played them?
Yeah, but the body of work is different than that.
Didn't they just get a 4-star recruit to their or 5-star? They got some absurd guy.
Stars don't matter, right, Ryan? Say stars don't matter.
It depends. Oh, 5 stars do matter.
5 stars do matter.
They're real.
It depends. I'll tell you what. The difference between a 2-star and a 3-star, I'll argue about that doesn't matter as much all day. But you can get a 5-star in your program. He's going to be an impact player immediately.
So what I find interesting is talking about Coach Elliott's and his time here. He made this program at least one that people at the beginning of the season, they would always, the preseason rankings would put us down at the bottom of the East or bottom of the conference overall. But as you led up to that game week, teams would be saying, you never know about Drew State. They always can kind of pull something out. We don't know. So that they may not thought very highly of us, but when it came time to actually play, they're like, you never know about this team. He created that uncertainty from the fan base to hell, uncertainty from our fan base about what the hell is going on with the program.
Yeah, who's going to show up? Who knows?
But so he did all this good stuff. We have the Tennessee win. We have the South Carolina that should have been a win.
The Auburn.
We started this. I was thinking Auburn. Auburn's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But then we started the season 6-1. For all the good he did for effectively mailing in a job, he could never get over that hump. Just to think, what if we had somebody like Coach Elliott that actually dedicated himself to the job, who put in 12-hour days, made his coaches put in 12-hour days, studied the film, studied the opposing teams, did the recruiting, was out there on the road. If we had somebody that just did 100% of their job, whereas he was doing 80, 70, 60% of his job, what Georgia State could have accomplished in this exact same time period that he did not get us at. So
that's what's so incredibly frustrating by the people who are defending him, saying that he has brought us higher than we've ever been, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, imagine what we could have been had somebody been putting their heart and soul into it. Because clearly he wasn't, right? I mean, like I've been wrong. And that the heart and soul has not been there, and it's a holdover. It feels like to me, right?
Yeah,
based on what I'm looking at.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he was not fully invested. He just wasn't. Like I know you defended him, Ryan, for living in South Carolina and doing the commute.
You're just waiting on that job, though.
That's just brutal. First of all, the commute sucks. Forget it. I mean, it's not like he had a PJ or something. He'd fly back and forth. He was driving a car back and forth 3 hours plus.
PJ, is PJ like the in slang? Is that what y'all private jet owners say? PJ?
It's not a BJ, it's a PJ.
Oh, you gotta ask.
I've got a BJ on a PJ.
But yeah, you should. Yeah, so like he's not fully invested, and I gotta imagine that commute just wore him down over time. Like,
oh, come on, Tim. That's the same commute people make in Atlanta all the time. People that work in coming and or live in coming and work in Atlanta, they drive 3 hours every single day.
And I'm not going to feel bad for him. He worked here for years and years and years now.
I know.
Move here. If it's that hard,
that's what I want. I want someone fully invested. I want our next coach to live in Atlanta, or hell, you can live in Cumming and come down here and drive down and back and forth and make it almost the same commute as Elliott. But I want someone that's in the area. I don't want someone that doesn't live here.
Yeah,
they're not invested.
That is another thing the defenders are saying though. Is like, oh, the commute was really difficult. It's like, well, you didn't have to do it. We paid him $815,000 a year. He could have bought a house here and moved his family down like a normal person.
Yeah, like everybody else
invested in his job.
Every other coach moves. The only the only coach I know that did not live, whose family did not live in the town in which he coached, and I'm sure there's more, but the only one I know of is that dipshit from the Saints, Sean Payton. After a few years, his family realized how crappy of a shithole New Orleans is, and they moved to Houston because that's better. When Houston's better than where you live,
come on now.
Ooh.
Yeah, but when Houston's better than where you live, you live in a shithole. All right.
Yeah.
So, Sean Payton, which is the most vile creature on earth, was the only person I know that's family did not live in the same city in which he coached. So that's the company that Shawn Elliott's keeping.
Oh, yikes!
What?
No, that he's keeping company with Sean Payton. I mean, like coming from David, that's not high praise. I'll tell you what.
And I think if you take a step back,
it's a Sean thing. It's a Sean thing.
If you take a step back and you look at like the warning signs, right? Like didn't show up for that spring practice that all the fans were invited to. Like what head coach does that in all of FBS ever? None of them. Except
that
for
was
us.
Nuts. I agree. That was incredible. That was just crazy.
Absolute warning sign. Moving the spring practice and the spring game to maximize his vacation time. Like
I would do that.
Warning sign.
That's why I don't care. I would make that move.
You could, but like it just shows you how not invested into Georgia State he was. And then I don't know. I mean,
wait, are you trying to say I'm not invested in Georgia State? What are you trying to say?
Yes,
Tim?
Exactly that. I sent y'all a text that morning, nicely saying goodbye, Coach Elliott. And I think David, you're like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I'm already there. Yeah. I'm not happy.
Don't let the door hit you.
No. Hey, I wish you all the best.
So that's the good news, right? So everybody here has said it's past time that he's gonna go. We knew he wasn't gonna get fired, and he quit in like a bad way. And I'm not gonna give him credit for the way that he quit or for quitting, but the program might end up better off because of it.
He
didn't plan on that. He didn't give a shit. But
it's just it's the most Georgia State thing ever. All right, we want to get rid of our head coach. We can't afford to pay him, or we refuse to pay him to leave.
We won't fire him.
we're not going to fire him. So he makes the decision for us and leaves during the middle of spring practice or once spring practice has started.
Just the worst timing. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just be normal. You can't be
our listeners, because I don't think we've said this yet. They did postpone spring practice, and we are only out like 2 practices, I think. And so whatever coach comes back in, once they schedule it, we'll have most spring practice minus like the 2 days that
I think we got a waiver too. I don't know if
there's a certain number of days they're allowed to do. So they'll have like minus the days they've already done, but they will have most of spring practice to install whatever they want to do.
I don't even know if that's true, Ryan, because like Tim was saying, there's a waiver that has been processed from the NCAA they've granted, and I don't know exactly what it granted, but it's either an extension for the time frame to do the spring practice, or they can get those days back or something. But there's been something that NCAA has granted to Georgia State.
Okay, so we might even have those 2 days back, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we got basically the oh shit waiver.
All right, that's cool. All right. I mean, either way, it's not the end of the world. Like people are saying, like, oh, we lost our spring practice. We didn't lose our spring practice. Like that's overstating the problem. The problem is big enough that we don't have to make up stuff like that. So,
and it's the fastest the NCAA.
Even better, we get those 2 days back if we do.
Yeah,
it's the fastest the NCAA has ever acted on a waiver.
I know. I was like, damn, why can't you do this for everything else?
They had nothing else going on. Everybody else is done. There's no other waivers in the inbox. We're
all
lucky
just-
to actually saw the thing. There's probably some intern that just like his job was to check the inbox every day. And after January, he's like, I won't see anything here for the next couple of months. Oh, look.
They're all the NCAA watching the news like, oh man, that sucks. Oof. Poor Georgia State. And then they get an email. Oh, I guess they want something, you know?
Yeah.
We'll
Danny made a comment that I want to talk about. Coach Elliott, Shawn, never moved his kids when they were younger. If he was committed, he would have done that. Exactly. You know, when I first found out that he wasn't moving his family down here, I'm like, how good do you think you're going to be at your job? You're not willing to move, at least the next 3 years you're going to be here. You don't think you can survive 3 years in Atlanta or at Georgia State as a head coach? Why aren't you moving your family down? The commitment was never there. I don't know if he thought.
Well, yeah, and they're like, oh, he wants to watch his kid play football. I'm like, well, he had an opportunity to move him down here and like play football here. Also, Georgia high school football is well known to be way better than South Carolina high school football. So, like, if you really want him to come compete, you bring him down here. You bring him to Buford or, one of the other schools up there in the 5A.
Sure.
Like, the only thing I can think is he was expecting to come in for 3 years, blow the socks off of everybody, win some games, and
head coach up there.
You get a coach, go get a job somewhere else, a P5 job or a job paying him a lot more, somewhere that be worth moving the family out there or something like that. But no, you can't even beat Tennessee State when we open up the Georgia State Stadium for the very first time. That's the kind of coach you are.
That was one of the lowlights in starting here.
Yeah,
I mean, we should have cut ties right then. We should have cut ties right then.
Bye, yo.
Done.
I mean, do you think there's some kind of just like he just got tired of like he just started doing the bare minimum because he just knew he wasn't going to excel, wasn't going to get out? Just
I feel
why put in the effort? I've been
he
here.
Was always looking for the position up there. He wanted to be in Columbia. He wasn't going to leave Columbia. He wasn't going to go anywhere else. He was always looking for something. That's why he's taking a demotion to go to Columbia right now, because his heart was never here. His heart was always there.
Yeah.
And I think the conversation between him and Cobb had been had. He's like, hey, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to win you 6 games a season. And as soon as a job comes available in Columbia, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I look better in maroon. It matches my natural face color when I'm yelling at a ref.
That's what I mostly wear anyway. So
yeah, that's another. This is one of the things that annoys the hell out of me. And it's so insignificant and it should not bother me as much. But I expect my head coaches, when they go out and they do, the Sunbelt media days or the press conferences, whatever they do,
every day.
If you're wearing a suit, put on a red tie. I'm sorry, a blue tie. If put a Georgia State lapel pin on, represent the school, show that you're actually. But no, you see them out there wearing other crap. I'm like, what the hell?
So just wear the brand, right? Like,
yeah, always.
You should just have every Panther thing known to man to wear. Dress shirts, ties.
Well, wait, he gets given all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, but how many times did he come out to the spring tours or to other events where he was supposed to be present there, and he was just wearing like an Under Armour shirt or just a regular polo or some crap that was not Georgia State branded.
Yeah.
Hell, the 3 of us wear more Georgia State stuff in a given week than a guy that works at Georgia State.
Yeah,
it's true.
No, I mean, like I'll dig through my my laundry, and if I don't have clean Georgia State stuff to wear for like this or for something, I just wear dirty.
Exactly. No, absolutely.
I mean, it's what it is. You know, I
like,
look and I'm like, oh, there's no
right.
stains on that one. No one will know. How will they know?
They can't.
You think that I'm
we don't have smell-o-vision yet.
That's right.
Oh, but if we did.
Ooh.
So in the meanwhile, we have an interim head coach, Mike Siriano.
Yeah.
Steroids and cocaine.
Bear.
Cocaine bear.
Cocaine bear.
I love it. And we got made fun of a little bit for it. I don't know why anyone would make fun of it. Just because it's never happened doesn't mean it's not something that's good. He's great. I mean, like really, what is an interim head coach going to do right now anyway?
Lift weights.
That's right. And what's he do?
Lift weights.
And
they're going to lift weights.
No, I do cocaine.
And do cocaine.
And steroids.
Yeah,
steroids, cocaine.
Well, and all kinds of whatever fun drugs you got. I mean, like obviously he's on there, but
he's got them.
Yeah, I was
Look,
getting
we don't know. We don't look. I want to make this clear. We actually have no clue whether or not that's true or not.
He's just
It's
high
a
on
funny
life.
thing because the guy has a ton of energy, and I just don't want anybody coming out here being like, oh, you guys are slandering him or something like that.
He's just.
That being
No,
said,
I've got
he's
actual
clearly
video
on
evidence
cocaine.
of him. I have
Doing
evidence of
lines.
John Voight injecting steroids and cocaine directly into the knee of the players. No, it's SNC, strength and conditioning. SNC, steroids and cocaine. I think everyone knows that's what it stands for.
He's just super energetic.
You're doing your
That's
job
all.
right.
He's just super energetic. He's high on life, and he transmits that to the kids through non-drugs.
What I think though is it's so telling about what we think about the rest of the staff, right? We didn't even not we, but the athletic department, Charlie Cobb did not think highly enough of anybody else on staff that he dipped down to strength and conditioning. And I say dip down only not because it's not equal level, but only because that is not traditionally the coach that you would pull up to be an interim head coach. It's weird.
So I got two thoughts on this. One is typically you'd go with your offensive coordinator or your defensive coordinator. Unless there was already a named head coach or whatever they call the whole thing. But in this case, also when a coach leaves, especially as abruptly as this was at the time it was, those are also the guys you're considering for the head coaching job, just to promote from within. And by going with the strength and conditioning coach, Cobb's telling both McKnight and Staggs, no one of you has an upper hand on the other. I'm going to be making my decision level-headed. You guys both have the same opportunity. Fair. So, all we can do right now is work the guys out, get them stronger. Let Mike do that. And then we'll do the interview process and you guys are on the same playing field.
Also, you're not getting the job.
Well, that's the other thing.
Crossing my fingers.
I mean,
normally when a new head coach comes in, they bring in their own staff. This is a little bit different because so late in the game, whoever comes in, I don't know if they're going to clean house, if they'll be able to find a whole new staff, or they're going to work with who they got for this one season and then figure it out. But either way, when a new head coach comes in, the existing coordinators, assistants see that the writing is on the wall. Their job could very much be gone. And why make one of them interim when they may leave during that interim time period and make this system look even worse?
They've got to be scrambling right now. The assistants. That's the piece that gets a little bit lost in all this. Is there's not a lot of spaces. There's not a lot of openings for them, and so they're probably scrambling too, which might have, like you're saying, be the other reason to make the strength and conditioning coach the head coach, so they have time to just do their thing, scramble.
Right.
You guys need new jobs. Go work on that instead of being head coach.
I'm just thinking back to Elliott, interviewing Staggs. He's like, "Hey, look, you can be my DC. Play some defense. Don't play some defense. Make it look like we're playing defense at times. Good enough." He's like, "Hell yeah, I'll pay you for it."
I liked our defense. I thought our defense was pretty good this season.
It was better this season than the last few.
You only have to play half the season.
Fuquay was.
You only have to play half the season. If you play the last 6 games,
we were the definition late of the don't break, and then every now and again, rarely we broke. We did break. We did not bend.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It doesn't matter how many yards you give up if you're not giving up the points.
Yeah,
so it is kind of funny with the whole "so what now what" tagline.
That was my tweet.
Fell off a cliff. Just
so what now what? Yeah.
So what now what?
Those whatever shirts they have left of those are probably going to be on the bargain base. You can get one for only $25 now instead of $45.
Ooh, yeah, I never understood it until he quit, and then I was like, oh,
so what?
All right.
Yeah, the now what was I'm leaving for Columbia, and you know what?
No, he quit. So what? Now what?
And Columbia is a shithole too.
What do you think is going through the players' minds right now? Do you think they're like, well, let's stay put, let's see what happens? I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of options unless someone is on our team that's a standout that other teams have been eyeing. Now they're fresh meat essentially to go poach.
I mean, how many of them actually know him?
It's true.
Well, so they get the opportunity to go. They have 30 days to go into the portal, and to my knowledge, nobody has declared yet. I think that's smart on their behalf. They should see who's going to come in, their style of play, what kind of opportunities they're going to have, which may mean that Cobb just delays the hiring for 30 days so that it's all. But I mean, that would be that's what I'm going to be looking at.
Absolutely right. This is an ASAP hire. It's going to be in the next.
Of course, it is. It'll be, if it's not done by the end of this week, it's definitely done by the end of next week. I agree with that. But it'll be interesting to see whenever this new guy comes in, or girl. We could be the first head coach, female head coach. Who knows?
All right.
But whoever comes in, to see how many players declare for the portal after that, because that'll be telling what the locker room thinks of the person.
But it's scary. There's a lot of kids in the portal right now that still don't have homes to go to. Right.
See, that's the gamble at the portal. We say you're not allowed to be talked to by another program and tell you that they're going to pick you up.
Come on,
they are, of course. Yeah. But man, if a team has not talked to you, do not enter the portal.
No, this might also be the ticket back home, right? Like if you enter the portal under Elliott and you don't go anywhere and you want to come back, Elliott has. I totally would have understood him being like, "Nah, dude, you quit."
You're out.
But a new coach might be like, "Yeah, come on back. We got a home for you." Like maybe they're more likely to do it. They might also be less likely. Who knows? But it feels like there might be an opportunity there for people to come back. I don't know who didn't make it anywhere. I mean, the only one I
McKelly
is he know about is Carroll. So
McKelly, did he get anywhere?
I mean, whatever.
I haven't heard anything about McKelly.
Mr. South Carolina, right?
Yeah, the Gatorade.
Wouldn't that be some shit? If we get we get like we get a new head coach who brings McKelly back. McKelly's our starter. We ball out all season. That'd be amazing.
And then we see South Carolina in a bowl game and we beat them
and we win. That's right.
And South Carolina has a chance to win it in the closing seconds of the game, but their tight end drops it in the end zone.
Ooh,
I love it, David. I love
what
it.
A magical!
Chills.
What a magical ending!
I love it. I love it. I would probably masturbate to that evening.
Wow!
All right, we're on the last call now.
Some real.
I'm not on our OnlyFans.
That's some real right there, Ryan.
Well, I edited it. I could have been more crass.
You heard it here first.
True.
We're going to beat South Carolina in a bowl game.
And Ryan's going to jerk off.
My brain just stopped working.
Ryan's going to jerk off.
All right, I'm done. That's it. At the hands of McKelly Colasordo and tight ends will lose the game for South Carolina. That would be poetic.
He said hands.
You're a very big fan of them right now, right?
I've been drinking for a while. I was honestly like, I almost put a disclaimer at the beginning of this being like, this is the Shawn Elliott episode and I've been drinking and I'm going to slip.
And it doesn't matter.
I thought about going straight last call with this one. I didn't know how we could keep it
just like, sorry, we're not
PG rated, and we've barely done that.
So are you guys excited about the future? I mean, I kind of got to this point over the weekend where I'm now a little bit excited. I mean, next year could be difficult. Let's just call it what it is. But I'm excited. We have a new head coach coming in, like a new energy, new life. He could actually live here and be energized about trying to build
Georgia here.
He could live here.
Fingers crossed he lives here.
And like build the program, right? Like pick up where Elliott left off, which was a 500-ish record most seasons-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, he's close to it, and then build from there and maybe build us in the top 3 team in the East.
Well,
contending for real this time though.
Everybody was saying it was time for him to go. Yeah. I mean, he was either saying it was hot seat or next year defines it or something. But I don't think there were that many fans of Georgia State that were all in on Coach Elliott after this past season. Like,
we were ready for a change no matter what.
Yeah, it was time. Things had gotten stagnant. He'd done as much as he could from Columbia. So everybody was looking forward to that, but we all said we were not going to fire
last
him.
season, right? So this,
right. So now that we've had the few days to process everything and get pissed off and drink our steroids and cocaine cocktails.
Uh-huh.
Well, that'd be a good name for a cocktail for the
steroids and cocaine.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
That could be the winner of our drink contest if we do it.
If we ever get around to doing it,
We can, instead of calling it like Panther drink or something, we can call it steroids and cocaine.
steroids and cocaine.
S&C.
Just slam them back.
Oh, and get those little plastic syringe bottles that they do for like Jello shots and serve the drink that way.
Nope.
No
I don't do
needle,
syringes.
Ryan. No needle. Just a squirt bottle. Just a squirt bottle.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll just take a shot.
Ryan has the that's why it's called a shot, Ryan.
Oh fuck, man! Now I can't. Oh, geez.
He does not like shots.
That's what got me. That's what got me. Not Elliott talk.
No, so yes, now I'm excited to see what the future holds. I was talking to somebody and they were asking like how I felt about it. I'm withholding judgment until we find out who we hire as our head coach, but I'm excited to find out who that is. And as soon as whoever it is, especially if it's an FCS coach, because I don't know crap about FCS coaches and our teams. There was one of the names being floated around, and I actually thought that it was an FBS team that he was coaching, but it was an FCS, Florida A&M, I guess, as a FCS school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a HBCU, isn't it?
HBCU, yeah.
So they don't follow the same rules. And that would probably who is that? Who?
Ooh.
That's
Willie
the
Simons?
Clay Hendricks. No, that's from
Willie
Simons.
Simons. Yeah.
Willie Simon. I got to figure out. It's Simmons. It's two M's, right?
Simmons.
Because an HBCU coach could be really great. Honestly,
break all the rules.
They pull, yeah, that's the thing. They pull rabbits out of their hats, man. They're like in the culture of like high school football in a way that other people aren't. And they pull like 5 stars. It's crazy.
No, Deion Sanders pulled a 5-star.
No. Other HBCUs will pull like a rando 5-star here and there. It's weird.
I should not talk about things like this. I just said that I don't pay any attention to FCS.
It's like one. They'll get like one every couple of years or something, but they still do it, you know. And it's like it is, you know, HBCU themselves are the selling point to it, not necessarily the coach. But
Sure.
there is there's definitely like a cultural thing there that like would work in our favor.
Well, a lot of people think that Georgia State is an HBCU.
I mean, we're on the cusp, right? I mean,
yeah,
we're all but.
I'll but the historically part.
Yeah.
I mean, are we not historically?
I mean, I think Georgia State in general.
All of us went to school there a long time ago, and we're not historically.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so historically, black colleges and universities were established for black people to go to because they had nowhere else to go, basically. So, and Georgia State is not that.
We were there for women. We're historically women college.
Culturally, though, we're on the cusp.
We're on the cusp.
Okay,
sure.
I don't want to get any more of this.
That's fine.
I'm gonna say something stupid or I'll say something stupid.
Yeah, you do want to say something stupid, but you don't want to say anything terribly offensive.
Yeah.
I want to say something terribly offensive, but I don't know which direction it's going to go. I don't know what I'm saying until it's said.
So moving back on to coaches and off of this topic,
I'm excited about what we're going to find out. I'm just saying I don't know. I've got no idea who we're going to get, and when they get named, I'm not going to have any idea who they are. So I'm going to be hitting up Wikipedia and ESPN and everything, and doing as much research as I can to find out who the hell this person is.
We'll take a look at the 3, I guess, quote, front runners that have been reported. Which one of them would you want?
You talking about McClendon, Hendricks, and Simons?
Yes.
Well, I don't understand why.
Who's Hendricks?
Clay Hendricks. He's the former head coach.
No, I was kidding.
The what?
He's a purple guy. You like purple?
Hendricks Jim.
Is Del McGee not still?
Yeah, that was one of them as well. Del McGee.
Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure there was another Georgia guy in there.
Yeah,
but I've heard less about him.
McGee's son is actually on the roster this year.
And we talked about that because privately we were like, oh, maybe this is like the Ron Hunter, RJ, but like in reverse.
Well, you said that. That was actually your words. You were the person that wrote that out.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know.
Well, if it's in reverse, that means the coach ends up becoming the all-star that gets drafted in the first round of the NBA. So
nice.
I don't know. My question is, because I believe that Simmons or Simons, whichever one his name is, he's not at A&M anymore. He's the running back coach at Duke. So why his Wikipedia page did not say anything about getting fired from A&M, So did he just leave there to be a position coach like Coach Elliott did, or did something else happen? I don't know. The Clay Hendricks guy has an impressive record at Furman. That's the only place he's head coached, but 51-29, 3-4 in tournament play. It sounds good. But both those guys have good records. The McGee guy sounds good. McClendon is the guy that was in for the position when Coach Elliott got it instead. But he seems like he's taken advantage of the past 7 years and done well for himself and has other opportunities. Not a head coaching opportunity yet. And I think he wants that. I think he's on record as saying that he wants to be a head coach of a university. I don't know.
McClendon is the most exciting seeming to me.
Sexy.
He is the
most sexy. Right?
Yeah, I mean that'll be the biggest splash, right? The AJC will love that. But he does have a big question mark for head coaching, because I don't know that he's ever called plays or anything like that. But that doesn't matter. Offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators call plays. Like if he wants to pull somebody in to do that kind of stuff, like he can staff that up, no problem. The thing that McClendon's going to do is he's got connections throughout the state. The dude's going to recruit. He's going to recruit Georgia like no other. And he already that's what he's known for. He's known as a great recruiter. And so I think people will come play for McClendon just because he's got a rep in Georgia.
Well, we hired a basketball coach because of his recruiting prowess, and we've not seen results in the court.
Not yet.
Prove that.
Yeah,
not yet.
We were, that's true.
No, but you're absolutely right, Ryan. I think that anytime you get somebody that came from UGA, you're going to get some attention from the majority of the state. They'll keep an extra eye on it. You put that his name pops up in a headline, they're going to look at it. So you do get some attention from other fans out there, and you do well, they'll pay more attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when McClendon actually goes into a high school, goes into a recruit's home, you're going to get a lot more credit that way. So.
Well, he knows all the coaches and all that stuff too. And does he bring Brent McClendon back to the program? I don't know what Brent McClendon's doing with his time these days, but that's cool. We always talk about bringing people back to be coaches and get experience here.
And something else McClendon could do is repair all the damage that's been done under Coach Elliott's regime with these high schools, because we've heard stories. We've heard stories about how there's high school coaches that don't even want to talk to Georgia State, won't even encourage their players to go to Georgia State because of just not getting any attention. Like they won't show up, they won't go out there, they won't recruit the school at all. So they encourage their players to just ignore them completely. So maybe he can repair some of that damage that's been done. Give some respect to him. What's wrong with the word regime? Did I use it wrong?
Yeah, well, absolutely, but that's fine.
I like it. Sounds good.
I will say that coaches and some of those like promoters and stuff are for some of these kids are absolutely ridiculous prima donnas, and they will take anything as a slight. So who knows what the truth is in some of that? Maybe they're just mad because like a large percentage of our players come from the Carolinas. And they're just like mad about it, even though he does go to their school. Who knows? I don't know the details there, but I have been involved in recruiting for a time, and the and coaches, man, they get it twisted.
We should have just tricked Elliott recruiting wise and just called it Beaufort, South Carolina High School, or Norcross, South Carolina High School, and then we'd be like, oh, I got to recruit there. That's where I got to get players there. South Carolina.
Yeah. People are like, oh, coach, don't pay attention. Just we're going north for a while to Carolina.
Well, then Danny's just all over the place. If you get McClendon here, there's a bunch of UGA fans that went to GSU. Interested in the program. Yeah,
sure.
It's not wrong. I mean, like I said, we'll get press, and then for sure, people that are Georgia fans are gonna be interested in that.
The AJC will actually cover us.
Maybe you can get us on the Georgia schedule. Nah, probably not.
Probably not.
That would SEC is probably going to drop a non-conference game anyways in the coming years anyway. So getting on there, maybe in the next 20 or 50 years.
2050 will be on the schedule.
I actually am. I don't think Georgia is averse to playing us. I think we screwed that up early on, and they haven't moved on ADs, and they're just like, okay, well, we're done trying to schedule that. What I heard was they did try to schedule a game with us, and we refused. So
Well, we refused their offer. They wanted to play at the Georgia Dome, and
Yeah, it was a great offer.
They wanted to take half the gate and
Take it.
Oh no!
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
great offer.
100%. You take it because that one game outside of the very first game we ever had there would be the highest attendance game. Actually, no, we would have sold out. Oh, we sold it. Would you sell the Dome? Would that game sold out the Dome? Would you
probably
sell
not?
out
Probably not sold out, but we probably would have done better than our original opener. I would bet we would have done better than that.
More than 33,000.
And we may have even sold all the tickets, but it wouldn't have been full.
Right. Yeah. That was a total missed opportunity. We would have gotten absolutely pummeled. There's no doubt about that.
Sure, whatever.
But just to have that in the record books as having played them
and made a bunch of money, we would have made a shit ton of money off of that. I don't understand why it didn't happen.
We could have afforded to fire Bill Curry, or no, he didn't fire. We could have fired Trent Miles a year earlier.
We'd have money. Money.
No, I think Trent Miles did a good job. I like Trent Miles. But yeah, that was a poor decision. Another GSUing it kind of moment for the program.
I did see somebody joke, speaking of Trent Miles, about Lopano and like what's he doing, because that's one of the better coaches that we had in our program. How incredibly lucky were we to have him coaching our wide receivers? And then that would be really cool. I don't know what he's doing with his time right now though. He's probably retired. He was kind of old.
He coached us over Trash Down South too, didn't he?
I think so.
That sounds right.
Yeah, like that. I think that was the game. I think Miles was let go, and Lopano came in the very next week. It did the following week or the week after that we beat Trash Down South with him. So
hiring him was a coup. I mean that was an amazing hire. So yeah. Turns out Minter was also a coup. Who knew at the time?
I was about to say the same thing. It's like if we could have figured out a way to get him before he became the DC of the Rams or the Chargers, LA team, whatever they
Chargers,
are.
I think.
Chargers, yeah. And,
but I am still on the record saying that he is our best defensive coordinator of all time, well before he did well in Michigan. So
we had a good defense with him.
It was so much fun to watch too. It was like so chaotic and just aggressive. We're so good when we're aggressive.
It's basically Michigan's defense. I mean, like their defense was aggressive, chaotic. You never knew it was happening, and
just go for it.
Leave us
wherever the ball is. Go.
Leave us the schemes. Write it all down. Right.
Get me that ball, Billy Bob.
That's right. Go get the ball.
It was Varsity Blues. They said that, right?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah. Bring up John Voight twice. Same movie.
You're all over the John Voight today. Johnny Voight. Who calls him that? Somebody does, I'm sure.
Angelina Jolie. I don't know. It's his daughter, right?
Is that
right?
Is it? I don't know. Is that his daughter? I have no clue. I didn't know that.
I make a lot of stuff up.
Should we? It sounds vaguely familiar. I know he's got a daughter, but I don't know if it's her.
Should we just last call the rest of the episode?
Yeah, I think we should talk about basketball.
Close it out. Basketball. All right, let's do it.
Yeah. There's what's there to talk about? We played a JMU team, Jimmy Madison team that we were supposed to get our asses handed to us. We got our asses handed to us. Then we played an Old Dominion team that we were supposed to beat, and we beat them. That one though, the superstition was the bad karma, the bad luck was running. I was driving up to New York where I'm at now during that game, and I missed the first couple minutes of the game. I put it on, and we're down, and then we miraculously started coming back. I'm like, oh my god, I'm good luck. And then kids were crazy, so we changed it, and I was still following along with the score, and we fell behind and kept it close. But we won the game. I thought it was going to cost us the game. So, but
it really did come right down to the end. It was not like the first time we played them, and they're not good, and neither were we.
Right. Yeah. Well,
there was one stretch of the game where we're up by like 11. I walked away, or 12. I walked away to go to the bathroom, and I came back, and we were only up by like 2. I'm like, what the hell happened in 2 minutes? How fast can we screw up? Apparently 2 minutes is our peak right there.
Quick reset, shoot a horrible 3, miss it. They get the ball back, run it up, do a layup, and get the ball. And we just rinse, repeat all over again. I'm assuming. I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
That was what was great. Is like for as poorly as we shot, and I don't have stats to back that up or anything. They also shot very poorly. So
they were actually they were about 10 points above us shooting wise. We stayed in the mid 30s. They were in the mid 40s.
I think if you look at like looking at the stats, that's why I said I didn't look at the stats, but like just watching them, there was like some really sloppy shots, some really poor shots that were happening. I don't know what the percentages worked out to, but man, it was some bad basketball.
All that matters is we came back at the end to take the lead back. That's all.
That's right. We won. We just won.
That's all.
That's what I said that night too, right? It was, look, no one's gonna remember how we won, just that we got that W in that column.
Get the hell out of Norfolk.
Hell yeah, we're done.
Yeah, and we have 4 games left at home the entire time. We're favored in 3 of those 4 games. We got Jimmy Madison one more time. That's the game we're not favored in. But the other 2 are Coastal and Marshall, who we lost to both times when we traveled to their places. But we're favored to win like by a lot. We're favored to I think was it Coastal 87.8% chance of winning. We were supposed to beat them when we were out there. Ended up losing by 2 points in overtime.
We win the home games. I don't know. We apparently have a pretty good home record. So 4 games at home to end the season. Hopefully we split 2 and 2.
Our home record's good. Our home record is good because our coach spent his first year of his career not winning any road games.
Pretty much. I mean, I think we have like 1 or 2 losses at home this year. Maybe 3. It might be crazy. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen.
I feel like we'll win at least 2 of the last 4. I think
we're a very mediocre team in a very bad conference.
If we win, so we're projected to go 3-1 to end the season out. If we do that, we will be absolutely average. That'll be 9-9 in conference, and 15-15 out of overall. So
is that number
1 makes us?
Like, are we gonna? Is that a two buys?
No, I don't know about.
Yeah,
it's 2. I don't know if we have an idea about where that puts us in the seating yet. But I will tell you this: we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We're like 8?
We're 8.
I can't do math.
Yeah.
We're 4 spots ahead of Trash Down South right now, so that's fun.
Who, let's just add in, did not win an out of conference game this season.
Did not win a single out of conference game.
We should add that every time this season. We should just throw that in there.
For them.
Watch, they're gonna beat us in the fucking. Oh,
Ryan. I'm not editing that out.
No, it's good.
Tim, you may have been right. Tim, you may have been right.
Yeah, we should have gone the last call.
So I'm gonna miss all the last 4 games. I'm gonna be up here for
poor planning
tomorrow and Saturday, and then I will be at the beach or a cruise. I'll be on the water for the rest of the games. I would think I get the sports book to put on an ESPN Plus game in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're good.
We'll see.
You gotta ask.
They'll have ESPN Plus for sure.
Oh, so what I did, if I can, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I'm getting my wife. So this is the 80. I'm going on the 80s cruise, and so it's all 80s themed, 80s bands, 80s everything, dressed up in 80s. So I'm getting. I went back and I found the logos from Georgia State back in the 80s, and she's gonna be making me an 80s Georgia State shirt to wear for those 2 days that we have games while we're on the boat.
That's rad. That is
I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's crimson. It was the Crimson Panther.
Was it? I was curious what it was in the 80s.
Awesome.
Yeah. I should have saved the images to put up here. I'll still be on next week when we record. So I'll have hopefully have the shirt to preview. Maybe I'll wear that to the episode next week.
Yeah.
Or I'll definitely wear it to the episode afterwards, unless it gets stolen from me.
Right after that was Irby, right? That like Happy Panther.
May have been.
Yeah,
Todd says that's
dope.
Right.
So Todd said it's awesome. You're putting it there too. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And
no, that's dope is what he said.
That's dope. Well, dope is appropriate term to use in the 80s, right?
That absolutely.
Rad, dope.
Or in the program today with our interim head coach.
Steroids and cocaine.
Dope.
Iron Mike coach. That's dope.
That's right. And Daniel does say, can we get those? And you should definitely put those in our
Online
store
and get
Hey,
some.
as like some throwbacks. We should do a State of Atlanta throwback game and just see how many people we can get to wear throwback stuff.
I'm starting a collection of cease and desist letters from Georgia State, so I'm on board for that.
Perfect.
Do you have them framed? You're gonna put them up somewhere? I love it.
Yeah.
Don't say too much publicly though. I mean, that's
Yeah, I'll put them behind me when I back at the studio in Atlanta.
Good. That's what they like
All
to
right.
spend their time on, by the way, everybody. Is just cease and desist for us using Panther head logos on
the biggest fan base of the smallest fan base.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you guys care about this program and you're promoting it and you're doing all this on your own, even though we're not. Yeah. We're gonna cease and desist. All right.
Don't promote us.
Don't do that.
Desist.
The last thing we'll stand for is people supporting this program. We do not want any of that.
No,
have you seen all the hard work we have not put into keeping fans away from the stadium?
Property is worth so much. It's just so much, really. I mean, and I can tell you how many T-shirts we're selling. I mean, I can't, but David could. It's not many. It's not a lot.
It's been a minute. All right. One last thing before we do last call. Sad news in Georgia State and NCAA basketball history. Coach Lefty Dreisell did pass away while I was driving up. Well, it came out. I don't know when he passed away. While I was driving up here, I got notification that he had passed away. I mean, if you'd seen him recently or in a while, you know he wasn't doing too hot. But man, the guy that put Georgia State basketball on the map, we were absolutely nothing. No.
Jimmy Madison too. I'm pretty sure.
Jimmy Madison as well.
We were a nothing burger.
So thanks a lot, Coach Dreisell, for that, for making them good. But it's sad. Did you guys ever go to any games or have any interactions with the coach?
I didn't. I literally don't know much about that time at all. So I just have been pretty quiet about it.
I went to a handful of games when he was there. I thought about going up to Boise, but I didn't make that trek.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he put us on the map, made us relevant very quickly, and we kind of owe him a lot to where we are today.
It's absolutely proof that coaching matters. You know, when you say that, there's coaches are a dime a dozen, or you can insert anybody, whatever things we've been talking about tonight about just finding somebody to come in and take over what's going on. But to have somebody that can come in, I talk a lot about, what happens if you could pick up a Saban or Urban Meyer or whatever and just put them in a situation like Georgia State, and what could they legitimately do to turn around a program that's struggled for so long. And Lefty is an example of somebody that kind of came in there and did just that, was able to maximize the amount of potential talent out of every player. When he was coaching at Georgia State, I wasn't outside the Braves. I wasn't really a big sports fan. I only went to a couple of Georgia State games while he was there, but I was a night school student, so I didn't really know much about the campus or anything. I just knew I had to get to the G building in Adderhold. But I went to a basketball game and I didn't even know where I was going, and I opened the wrong door, and apparently I was where the players were walking out of the locker room to go into the court. And I saw him walking. There's Lefty, and he had a big, huge neck brace on. I'm like, what the hell? Who's this guy? And I was the head coach, legendary basketball Hall of Fame guy. That I'm just like, who the hell is this guy?
I saw on the TV that he's like the only coach that's part of like 3 or 4 different schools Hall of Fames, and it's every place that he had coached, he is in their Hall of Fame.
He took every team to the tournament.
Yeah.
He's definitely.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, like, to be able to be that consistent, right? Like, you have some coaches that do poorly somewhere, and then they get fired or quit or move on somewhere else, and they're all of a sudden really great, and then they move on somewhere else and they're not great anymore. But like everywhere he was head coach, he was Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and he never gave up on Georgia State as a university as well. Like somebody was talking about a message board, running into him at the first time we played Tennessee, being up there at a football game up in Knoxville, and just coming out, still supporting the program. So, so Danny says they coached when he's in Maryland. Basketball was big there in the 80s. Yeah, Todd, he could have coached in this era as well. Yeah, so one of the things that he started was up at Maryland, I think, was the midnight practice. Midnight, well, they called it midnight something, midnight massacre, midnight something. And they as soon as the NCAA allowed practices to begin, he would start their practice at 12:01 a.m. that day. And it became a big, huge event where students would come out and cheer on it was an open practice and everything. Maybe
just Midnight Madness, right?
Midnight Madness, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And maybe Georgia State,
maybe Georgia State should do something like that to open up the season this next year. Is or open up the practice next season. Is do in honor of Coach Lefty, do a Midnight Madness.
Hey, look, our students love night things, so having a party at night at midnight, that might be right up their alley.
We should get light up sunglasses.
Light up sunglasses, get a DJ,
glow in the dark t-shirts,
have the booze flowing. I mean, no booze, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, Midnight Madness.
Yeah. Matthew confirming it was Midnight Madness. So we should do that.
I sort of thought you said midnight mass, and whether or not you're religious or not, I was like, man, that is great.
That's a horrible name for it.
Terrible. What are you?
Midnight mass? No, it's awesome.
No, Midnight Mass is the name of my all-night science party that I have. Is study weights and measures late at night.
All right, I guess I had a bad idea. I'm voted off the island. It's fine.
We'll keep you back for another week. We need you for 2 more weeks because I'm gonna be gone for one.
Nope,
of those.
I'm done. Sorry, Tim.
After this week, it's over. The whole podcast ends.
Oh no.
Speaking of which, are we only recording on the wrong? We're gonna do live on Sunday, right?
Yes, we'll record on Sunday this week because I've got stuff to prepare for the cruise, and then you guys get the ship while I'm on the ship. All right, we can talk about this on last call if you guys
let's
want
move
to.
over to last call. Curse some more about Coach Elliott. Let's go.
I love it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We're gonna head over to last call. You can find it on our Patreon page, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It is free of charge. It comes out on Friday mornings unless you're a member for as little as $5 a month. You can join, get access to our private group chat, early access on Last Call, access to watch our live streams and Last Call live stream. So thanks for listening. Talk to you next week and say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.